This is why the Biden administration is now waking up and is building the wall, and he's saying the wall is ineffective, but you're still building it. Why would you spend money building the wall in Texas if you didn't believe it was effective? No, they just refuse to admit that Trump was right.
So in this clip, Donald Trump is visiting the new border wall as president. But I want you to pay attention to what the border agents have to say regarding the importance of a wall.
So behind us is the wall. It's the new wall. We've done a lot of it. It's just a concrete protector. But the wall behind it, and you see it all the way down, and we're going to be building, we've already built a lot of it. It looks great. It's better and much more effective than the previous wall. And we actually can do it faster, and it's less expensive, if you can believe it. So it's better, faster, and less expensive. Other than that, who knows? Very, very hard to climb. If you want to climb that, it's pretty sharp up on top, too. If you want to climb that, you deserve whatever you can get. But it's a very, very hard. It's meant anti-climb. It's called anti-climb. So it's a great wall, and it looks, I think it looks fantastic.
Thank you, Mr. President. You know, as the chief here in El Centro, we're very appreciative of this wall. These men and women out here in this area of 2 miles were experiencing a high number of assaults and use of force incidents. This was prior to this wall being built. This is a 30-foot border wall that are pillar bollards, and you can see through it. For us, it's a huge advantage to see what's on the other side, because before, with the old landing mat, we could not see the adversary. We couldn't see the threat that was on that side. We would get rocked constantly. We would get items thrown at us every day. With this 30-foot wall, we haven't had those type of incidents. Just here in these 2 miles, our assaults have dropped by 65% just in this area. That's very important to me as a chief, because I don't want our agents hurt. I want them out here protecting the country and doing their job. In these 2 miles, just illegal entries alone have dropped by 75% just in this area. Yes, the wall is here, and people have, and maybe around it are breaching the area. They're coming around.
The only
but
way,
that's
by the
okay.
way, and the only way they get in is by going around it. They're not going over it because you have a lot of tremendous people watching. They can't get the ladders and go over it. Plus, it's very dangerous. It's very high to go over it. So when Gloria says 65%, this is 100%. But when they go down further, but we're going further and further out. Every day we're building more wall, and we're going further and further, and you'll be at 99.9, I predict.
Well, we will, and we have about 11 miles, Mr. President, thank you for that, construction starts with this type of wall in June of this year.
Good, it's going addition.
Yep,
Yeah.
it will be.
And sir, we have some of our sheriffs here,
Good,
our
please.
fabulous partners that we're so
Sheriffs,
very
come on over
thankful
here,
for.
fellas. Central casting, you can't cast it. Well, you don't have anybody in Hollywood that looks like these guys.
I'm a sheriff from the Central Valley of California, and I have 3 other Central Valley sheriffs. We feel this impact from 400 miles away. Each of us have experienced heinous crimes that are committed by people in our country illegally. And I just want to take this opportunity to thank this president for doing the right thing and standing up for law enforcement in this country. It is greatly appreciated, and I just want you to know that.
We're with you.
This is my sheriff.
How are you?
He got a good one.
How are you?
He got a good one.
I'm Sheriff Donnie Youngblood, Kern County.
It's a great group of people. Sheriff, say something if you'd like.
So we don't have on the south end of our county, Pinal County, Arizona. We border here with Pima County, and together we're constantly working to try to fight the drug trafficking and the human trafficking that's coming into this country. A couple weeks ago, I was in the Oval Office, and we issued a challenge for congressmen and women and senators to come down here and see the border. I appreciate our president leading by example and coming down here. You can see the benefits of the wall, and hopefully as we progress with this, we'll start to see those effects in our county as well, because we're fighting this every day, the human trafficking and the drug trafficking. And I know Sheriff Napier out of Pima County can talk a little bit more about that.
Well, good afternoon. I'm Mark Napier. I'm the Sheriff of Pima County, Arizona. I am the largest border county in the United States. The strategic deployment of physical barriers along our southern border will always be part of the picture of border security, which is absolutely fundamentally necessary for humanitarian reasons, public safety reasons, and also for national security reasons. Anyone who would suggest that we do not have a crisis on our southern border is being intellectually dishonest to the point of being dishonest with malice. We have a humanitarian crisis which is very clear and compelling. We have a compelling crisis of public safety with human trafficking, drug trafficking, sex trafficking coming up through the border. This is not make-believe. This is something that we live with every day as border sheriffs. So we applaud the efforts of the current administration to secure our border. It's long overdue. And those who would argue that we do not have a crisis on our southern border need to come to my part of the world and see what's really going on. We interdicted 58 pounds of methamphetamine just the other day, and last month 13,000 fentanyl pills. My deputies recover about 100 bodies a year in the deserts of Pima County, Arizona. So please do not tell me this is not a public safety crisis, not a humanitarian crisis, and not a national security concern. So this is a very serious issue, and it's time our government got serious about it. Thank you.
And they don't come here. The people that are opposed, mostly Democrats. I mean, Republicans are for it, but mostly Democrats. They don't come here.
And we're open.
And we want them. Yeah, we want
we're
them to come here. We could take you to sections. Now it looks nice and calm because we have the wall. But if you would have seen this before we put the wall up, you wouldn't have believed it. But we could take you to sections that are so dangerous that you can't walk through them. Okay, you can't walk through them. So. Thank you very much, all of
Sir,
you.
we also
Thank you.
have
Please.
Chief Flores here to
Come on, Chief.
talk
How
about the
are you?
ports
Good.
of entry and field
Please say a few words, please.
Good afternoon, Pete Flores. I'm the Director for Field Operations for the San Diego Field Office. My AOR consists of all the California and Mexico ports of entry along with the airport, seaport in San Diego. I can tell you from our perspective, as we talk comprehensive border security, when border security means national security, at our ports of entry where we have, last year we did 79.3 million travelers come through our port of entry. We also did $50 billion worth of trade that came through our ports of entry just northbound. On what we see down here. So the additional investment in officers, the additional investment in technology, NII equipment, our x-ray equipment, and what we have, our ability to scan, screen, and inspect is a tremendous investment in how we do business on the border and securing our border, as well as allowing for the facilitation of legitimate trade and travel. Thank you for that.
Thank you very much. Fantastic.
I'm Jenny Day with the local media here in Calexico. We have been covering this now for
Good.
months.
Thank you.
I'm just curious though, so many of these migrants are crossing illegally. So how would shutting down the southern border help if they're crossing illegally and not their ports
Well, we're
of
going to
entry?
shut it down if we have to, but Mexico can do it very easily. And they've been, as you know, Jenny, they've been doing a very good job over the last 4 days. I will tell you, we're going to shut it down if we have to. We're going to tariff the cars coming in that they make in Mexico if we have to. But Mexico's been doing a great job. I want to thank the president of Mexico. He's the first one. He's really been doing the job. He's helping Mexico too, not only economically and not only because I won't be forced to shut it down or do the tariffs, but he really is helping Mexico. He's doing a great thing for his country. So I want to thank, through your camera, I want to thank him, the president of Mexico. Thank you.
Yeah, this is common sense stuff right here we're talking about. And again, when Trump was doing this years ago, you know, the Biden administration called him all kind of crazy name, xenophobic, racist, and so on when he's trying to protect the border. But look at now, October 8th, Biden administration is building a controversial part of the border wall in Texas. Why? Because the situation is dire. It's gotten so bad. We could have simply finished what Trump started and we would not be in this issue, the fentanyl crisis and the children that are gone and missing, and a lot of the issues we are experiencing in our culture will probably not have been happening. So, and we have people flooding through the borders, and New York City can't take it anymore. Different parts of the world are just crying out. Biden administration is moving forward with a controversial plan to build a new section of the border wall in Texas. Let me see if I could make this a little bit bigger for you. Okay. More than 2,000 federal environmental laws. So he suspended them. He waived them. That's a dire decision. That means to add 20 miles to the barrier. And he's saying, the same Biden administration is saying that the wall is ineffective. The same Biden administration is telling you it doesn't necessarily matter. It does matter, man. It's common sense. It's common sense. Anyway, a lot more could be said about that. We are in serious crisis today. We have people crossing over the border that are bringing all kind of, who knows, evil intent. You gotta have a wall, okay? Even when you go to the Bible, in the days of Nehemiah, God had to actually build a wall. and this is it. Why? Because the enemies were able to come in and just do damage to the people of Israel. So, I mean, history teaches us things. We know we're not having a perfect parallel here in any way. But what I'm saying is simply this, that God was like, build the wall, repair and rebuild the wall. Why? Because they were coming in there stealing and robbing and hurting people, and all that. And I'm not saying every single person that are coming through the border is doing that, but there are sleeper cells. There are people that are coming in there with evil intent. Some of them do not love this country at all. So shouldn't we be building the wall? Yes, we should be building a wall. Much more, we should be building a wall over our lives as well. We should be protecting ourselves and protecting our homes and protecting our children, especially in evil times in which we live. Anyway, friends, much more could be said. This is what I love about Trump. Common sense kind of guy. He gets the job done. Nothing is too difficult. It's not that difficult unless you want to make it difficult. This is why the Biden administration is now waking up and he's building the wall, and he's saying the wall is ineffective, but you're still building it. Why would you spend money building the wall in Texas if you didn't believe it was effective? No, they just refuse to admit that Trump was right. Yeah, he was right. It's all common sense. Anyway, friends, link in the description below. Like and subscribe to the page. Click the bell icon for more. Share your thought and perspective with me. I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one. Bye.